The sacred statue. Kovac sat on the stone bench, basking in the warm midday sun. The heat of the day made him feel younger than his 100 cycles. He gazed up at the statue that had stood here for 60 cycles, feeling a familiar surge of pride. The statue depicted a figure from a distant time, a testament to the ancient heroes of his people. The excited chatter of the hatchlings filled the hallway, drifting down to where Kovac stood. This was his favorite part of teaching history, the moment when the past came alive for the students. He raised his voice to be heard over the noise, calling the hatchlings to order. The 30 young faces looked up at him with eager curiosity. "Come in and take a seat, hatchlings," he said, trying to quiet the buzz. It was often a struggle to get 30 young students to settle down, but Kovac found their energy endearing. After all, he remembered his own childhood with its own chaos and excitement. "Quiet down, hatchlings," he said sternly, and slowly the noise subsided. "Today, we're going to learn about one of our most sacred monuments." He gestured towards the statue. "Who can tell me what this statue depicts?" A student from the back row, Kovac, stood up. "It's a human-honored elder." Kovac nodded approvingly. "Very good, Kovac. You may be seated. Now, you can tell me about the humans." His gaze swept over the eager faces. Rook, a confident student, raised his claw. "They are aliens, but Maya calls them just a myth, a legend." Kovac shook his head, reflecting on how quickly the real could become myth. Less than 90 cycles, and real events become myths, he thought. That's incorrect. He looked at his students, many of whom had their claws up, agreeing that humans were merely legends. "Rudok, your sire is quite wrong," Kovac said with a hint of a smile. "I was there when the humans came to save us." A ripple of excitement passed through the class, and students began asking questions all at once. Were humans as tall as the statue? Where are they now? Did you meet any? Kovac held up a claw to quiet them. "Yes, I was there, but let me tell you the whole story." He took a deep breath and began. "When I was not much older than you, we lived on Quarren, our former home world." The students' eyes widened at the mention of their ancestral planet, a place of legends for those born after the Great Exodus. "There was no Kian Republic then," Kovac continued. "We had recently left our world for the stars. We had a few colonies on our moons, but we hadn't even explored our entire system yet. My sire was a member of the ruling Council of Elders." He paused, allowing the weight of his words to sink in. "We sent messages to the stars, wondering if we were alone. We made first contact with the Kunorans, and from them, we learned about many other races. Small groups of aliens came to trade and welcome us to the galactic community. Among them were the humans." Kovac's eyes sparkled with the memory. "Unlike most aliens, the humans were fair in their dealings with us. It was one of their laws when interacting with races new to the stars." He recounted how the humans traded technology and tools, including a device that warned them of a looming catastrophe. "The pressure was building to an extremely high level on our second moon, Pexa," Kovac said. "We didn't think it would crack and send chunks to our home world. At first, our scientists just studied the changes, but soon the moonquakes became more frequent and intense. Messages were sent to other races, warning us that the moon would likely destroy our planet when it shattered." The students listened intently as Kovac described the growing panic and desperation. "We were new to space and had very few ships capable of leaving our system. We needed help. Messages were sent to all the races we had met, but they either ignored us or offered us exorbitant terms. Some even wanted us to be their slaves." He paused, his gaze distant. "Just as we were about to give up, the humans responded. A massive fleet arrived. Thousands of ships of all sizes, warships, transports, luxury liners, cargo haulers, and shuttles. The humans apologized for taking so long, but they had left less than a rotation after receiving our message." The hatchlings were captivated. Kovac continued. "The humans were known for their efficiency, but their level of preparation was beyond belief. They knew exactly how many of our people could fit per ship, along with our most necessary possessions. Teams of humans worked tirelessly to dismantle our most important buildings, schools, and facilities. He looked around at the faces of his students, remembering the astonishment he had felt as a young one. They evacuated us in less than 8 rotations. Our world was saved thanks to their incredible effort. The heroes of Quran. Kovac's gaze softened as he continued his story. When we arrived on the new planet, we were met with another surprise. A large group of humans had already set up temporary shelters for us. They had dug holes to transfer water from our planet, ensuring we had enough for all of us and our animals until the moisture processors could create lakes and rivers. He smiled as he remembered the immense effort the humans had put into their evacuation. The new world was much closer to Quarren. They made multiple trips, and every single one of us, except those who stayed to help, was transferred here swiftly. Kovac's voice grew nostalgic. My sire was one of the volunteers who helped with the final preparations. He told me they worked almost until the last minute before Quarren was lost. The Council of Elders met with the human leaders to discuss how we could repay them. He chuckled softly. One of the elders joked that we should repay them with pizza and beer. We were confused, but the humans laughed heartily. They asked for nothing but our friendship and to not be like the races that had refused or tried to exploit us. The students' faces were alight with curiosity. Kovac continued, "The humans stay for 2 cycles to help us rebuild our civilization. They planted flora, established cities, and even assisted us in building a fleet of our own ships. Our warships are only slightly modified from the designs the humans provided." He paused, allowing the weight of his words to sink in. "We owe them a great debt. The humans are real, and we honor their sacrifice with this statue." As the class buzzed with excitement, one student, Hertog, raised a claw. "Honored elder, if the humans are real, then why haven't we seen them?" Kovac's expression grew somber. "They were betrayed." A gasp went through the room. Who betrayed them? Several students asked simultaneously. Kovac took a sip from his water container and began to explain. 29 cycles after we arrived on this world, a new race entered our galaxy. They were as malevolent as they were powerful. They announced their arrival by destroying 8 colonies from various races. He continued, "The only reply they gave to our calls for help was submit or die. They didn't spare even a Barthian colony that surrendered to them. They enslaved some and exterminated others in horrific ways." The room fell silent as the students absorbed the gravity of Kovac's words. The humans were furious. They didn't like bullies, especially when they targeted their friends. So, they called for war against the new race, though we didn't even know their name. Kovac shook his head. The Great Council debated over it. Some thought the humans would only attack lesser races and leave them alone. Others wanted to continue diplomatic efforts. But over a half-dozen smaller races, including us, answered the human call. We could only muster 60 real warships between us. He described how the human ambassador had shamed the more powerful races for their lack of support and left the council chambers with the smaller races. The Kianka ambassador barely said anything before nodding at us and leaving to contact his government. The human ambassador thanked us for our loyalty and got us in touch with their fleet command. A student raised another question. What happened next? Kovac's eyes gleamed with pride. We fought alongside the humans. The battle was enormous, with over 100,000 ships from various races. The humans had us in reserve to counter the enemy's flank attack. He recounted the chaos of the battle, the fear and exhilaration, and how they fought valiantly alongside the humans. We lost many ships and suffered heavy casualties, but we were victorious. The humans paid a steep price, with 80% of their fleet destroyed and millions of casualties. The room was silent as the students processed the immense sacrifice the humans had made. Kovac continued, "The humans treated all the wounded equally, including our own. They didn't differentiate between their own and their allies." He described the aftermath of the battle, how a small Kianka fleet arrived later, and how the enemy's defeat led to further devastation. The humans discovered that one of the races on the council had betrayed them by revealing the locations of their major colonies. The enemy targeted these colonies with antimatter torpedoes, destroying their cradle world and nearly wiping out humanity. Kovac took another sip of water. The betrayal left less than 1 million humans alive. They vowed revenge and began constructing 5 massive motherships. For 10 cycles, they worked on these ships. His gaze was distant as he recalled the memory. When they were finally ready, they launched their attack. It was a long and bloody war, but eventually they succeeded in avenging their fallen. By the time the war ended, humanity was exhausted, its people scattered. A student named Lurak asked, "Are there still humans out there?" Kovac shook his head. "Most are long gone. The remains of their fleet are a testament to their valor. They left behind a small group of survivors who established a new society on an isolated world." The students were silent, absorbing the magnitude of the story. Kovac looked at them with a sense of satisfaction. "Remember, hatchlings, the humans' sacrifice was not in vain. Their bravery and generosity paved the way for countless races to thrive." As the class came to a close, Kovac's heart was filled with a deep sense of pride. The statue was more than a symbol. It was a reminder of the strength and spirit of humanity that had saved their world and made a lasting impact on the galaxy. The legacy of the fallen. The next day, the classroom was quieter than usual. The students were still absorbed in the gravity of the previous day's lesson. Kovac sensed a shift in their attitude, a newfound respect and solemnity toward their historical heroes. As they gathered, Kovac, one of the more inquisitive students, raised his claw. "Honored Elder, you mentioned that the humans were betrayed. How did they cope with that?" Kovac nodded. "A good question, Kovac. It's a story of resilience and endurance. After the betrayal, humanity faced a monumental task. They had to rebuild their society and their fleet from nearly nothing. Their isolation meant they had to rely on their ingenuity and determination to survive." He began to recount how humanity, despite their losses, rebuilt their world and adapted their technology to make it more efficient. They focused on creating more sustainable systems and advanced ships that could survive longer journeys. Their new fleet, though smaller, was exceptionally well-equipped and resilient. The humans, despite their reduced numbers, maintained their culture of innovation and exploration, Kovac said. Their survivors, who had once been in high positions or scholars, became pioneers on a new world they named Terra 2. Kovac's eyes twinkled as he described the new world. It was a harsh place at first. The environment was very different from their previous home. They had to adapt quickly, building cities with what little technology they could salvage and rediscovering the old ways of survival. The students listened intently, fascinated by the tale of humanity's struggle and recovery. Kovac continued, "Despite their hardships, the humans did not seek revenge on those who betrayed them. Instead, they used their experience to build a new society founded on trust and mutual support." He paused, letting the students absorb the idea of forgiveness and resilience. The humans established a new government on Terra 2, one that emphasized the importance of transparency and the well-being of all its citizens. Their new world became a beacon of hope and a symbol of their enduring spirit. Kovac, ever the curious student, raised another question. What happened to the other races who betrayed them? Kovac's expression grew more serious. The races that betrayed humanity were eventually held accountable. However, the humans chose not to wage further war. Instead, they sought to isolate and contain those who had wronged them, preventing them from causing further harm. He described how humanity's approach to diplomacy and justice evolved after their near extinction. The humans became known for their fair yet firm stance on justice. They worked to ensure that such betrayals would not go unpunished, while also striving to foster peace where possible. The room was filled with contemplation as the students processed the lessons of forgiveness and justice. This was one of humanity's greatest legacies, Kovac said. Their story teaches us that even in the face of betrayal and loss, it is possible to rebuild and find a path forward. Their resilience is a powerful example of how to face adversity. A student named Tarek, always eager to connect history with his own life, asked, "How does their story influence us today?" Kovacs smiled. Their story is a reminder that no matter how dire a situation seems, hope and determination can lead to recovery and progress. It teaches us to value our allies, honor our agreements, and never lose sight of the greater good. He looked at the statue once more. Every year, on the anniversary of the Battle of the Five Fleets, we remember the sacrifices of the humans. We celebrate their bravery and honor their legacy by helping each other and striving for unity. The students nodded, their faces reflecting a newfound respect for their distant benefactors. As Kovac ended the lesson, he hoped that the story of humanity would inspire them to act with courage and integrity. The ceremony. As the anniversary approached, the entire city of Kila gathered at the base of the statue. The day was a solemn occasion, a time to remember and honor the fallen heroes. Kovac, now older and more distinguished, stood among the crowd, ready to lead the annual ceremony. The statue of the human hero stood tall and proud, a symbol of hope and sacrifice. The city's inhabitants, adorned in ceremonial attire, gathered around the monument, their faces filled with reverence. The ceremony was not just a commemoration. It was a way to pass down the values and lessons of the past to the younger generations. Kovac took his place at the front of the gathering. The city's leaders, including the new Council of Elders, joined him. Each leader had a role in the ceremony, from recounting stories to placing ceremonial wreaths at the base of the statue. As the ceremony began, the crowd fell silent. The city's music ensemble played a somber yet beautiful tune, filling the air with a sense of solemnity and respect. Kovac stepped forward and began to speak. "Today, we remember not just a battle, but a profound act of kindness and bravery," he said, his voice echoing through the plaza. "The humans gave their lives to save us, and their sacrifice has become a cornerstone of our values." He recounted the story of humanity's heroism and the lessons learned from their actions. The crowd listened intently, their eyes fixed on the statue. The ceremony included a moment of silence to honor the fallen and reflect on their legacy. The highlight of the ceremony was the reading of the names of those who had been lost during the Great Exodus and the Battle of the Five Fleets. Kovac read each name with reverence, the crowd murmuring in acknowledgement as each name was spoken. After the readings, the leaders placed wreaths of flowers and ribbons at the base of the statue. Each wreath symbolized a different aspect of the human's legacy: bravery, sacrifice, unity, and hope. As the ceremony concluded, Kovac looked out over the crowd, seeing the impact of the day on the faces of the young and old alike. The ceremony was not just a remembrance, but a renewal of commitment to the values that had been preserved through the ages. The hatchlings who had attended Kovac's lessons were now among those standing in quiet contemplation. They had learned the importance of the day and felt a deep connection to the legacy of the humans. As the crowd began to disperse, Kovac felt a sense of fulfillment. The ceremony had achieved its purpose. It had reinforced the values of courage and unity and ensured that the story of humanity's sacrifice would continue to inspire future generations. Kovac's gaze returned to the statue, its form etched against the sky. He knew that as long as they remembered the lessons of the past, the spirit of humanity would live on in their hearts and actions. Part 5. The Discovery. Several cycles later, an unexpected event unfolded that would bring the story of humanity into a new chapter. During a routine exploratory mission, a team of Kian archaeologists discovered an ancient human spacecraft buried deep within a remote asteroid field. The discovery was made by Dr. Jara, a renowned archaeologist who had dedicated her life to uncovering the secrets of lost civilizations. The spacecraft, partially intact and remarkably well preserved, was a testament to the technological prowess of the humans. The news of the discovery spread quickly through the Kian scientific community. Dr. Jara, eager to learn more, gathered a team of experts to investigate the spacecraft. They worked tirelessly to extract and analyze a ship's data and artifacts. Kovac, now an esteemed historian, was called upon to provide insight into the significance of the discovery. He joined Dr. Jara and her team at the excavation site, where the spacecraft lay partially exposed. As Kovac approached the spacecraft, he marveled at its design. The sleek, advanced technology was a testament to human ingenuity. The team worked meticulously to uncover the ship's systems and documentation. Dr. Jara's team found a wealth of information about the spacecraft's capabilities and its role in the Great Exodus. The data provided new insights into the technology and strategies employed by the humans during their time. Among the artifacts found was a data crystal containing personal logs and communications from the crew. Kovac was deeply moved as he listened to the recordings, which revealed the personal stories and sacrifices of the human crew members. The logs painted a vivid picture of the human experience during the evacuation and the battle against their enemies. They spoke of courage, camaraderie, and an unwavering commitment to their mission. Kovac shared the findings with the public, using the new information to enhance the historical narrative of humanity's heroism. The story of the lost spacecraft became a symbol of their enduring legacy, and the artifacts provided a tangible connection to their past. The discovery also led to renewed interest in studying and preserving humanity's contributions. The Qian people, inspired by the new revelations, worked to honor the humans' memory in new and meaningful ways. The legacy continues. As the cycles passed, the influence of the human legacy continued to shape the Qian civilization. The values of courage, unity, and perseverance were deeply ingrained in their culture, influencing their approach to exploration, diplomacy, and technology. The Qian people embraced the lessons learned from their ancestors and the heroic actions of the humans. They established educational programs dedicated to studying the history and achievements of the humans, ensuring that future generations would continue to honor their memory. Kovac, now a revered elder, watched with pride as the young Qian continued to be inspired by the human legacy. The statue, once a symbol of distant heroism, had become a central part of their cultural identity. One notable initiative was the creation of the Human Legacy Foundation, dedicated to preserving and promoting the values and achievements of the humans. The foundation organized annual events, lectures, and exhibitions to celebrate humanity's contributions and foster a spirit of cooperation among the galaxy's races. The foundation also established scholarships for young Qian interested in pursuing careers in exploration and technology, encouraging them to follow in the footsteps of the humans and push the boundaries of knowledge and innovation. As Kovac approached the end of his life, he felt a deep sense of fulfillment. His efforts to preserve and share the story of humanity had borne fruit, and their legacy continued to inspire and guide the Qian people. In his final address to the people, Kovac reflected on the enduring impact of the humans. Their sacrifice and bravery have become the foundation upon which we build our future. Their story is a beacon of hope and a reminder of the strength of the spirit. He looked out over the gathering, seeing the faces of the young and old alike, united in their respect and admiration for their distant benefactors. Kovac knew that as long as they remembered the lessons of the past, the spirit of humanity would continue to live on in their hearts and actions. With a final glance at the statue, Kovac felt a profound sense of peace. The legacy of humanity had not only been preserved, but had become a guiding light for the future of the Qian civilization. A new dawn. Years had passed since Kovac's final address, and the Qian civilization had continued to thrive, guided by the principles and lessons learned from humanity. The Human Legacy Foundation had grown into a prominent institution, fostering cross-species collaborations and advancing technology based on the foundational ideas shared by the humans. The once quiet city of Kila had evolved into a bustling hub of innovation and cooperation, where the Qian and various allied species worked together on projects that pushed the boundaries of science and exploration. The statue of the human hero remained a central landmark, its presence a constant reminder of the values that had shaped their civilization. One day, a new initiative was announced by the Foundation, the launch of the Eternal Journey, a deep space exploration mission aimed at discovering new worlds and potential allies. The mission was a tribute to the human spirit of exploration and a testament to the Kian's commitment to continuing their legacy. The mission was set to include a diverse crew of Kian scientists, engineers, and diplomats, all eager to explore beyond their known galaxy. Among them was Lyra, a young and talented scientist who had grown up hearing stories of humanity's bravery and achievements. Inspired by the humans, she had dedicated her career to furthering the goals of exploration and peace. As the preparations for the launch were finalized, Lyra stood before the statue of the human hero, reflecting on the journey ahead. The mission was not only a scientific endeavor, but also a symbolic continuation of the humans' quest for knowledge and understanding. On the day of the launch, the entire city gathered to witness the historic event. The spaceport was abuzz with excitement as the crew prepared to embark on their journey. The launch was not just a step into the unknown, it was a celebration of the values and spirit that had shaped their civilization. Kovac's successor, Aldebaran, delivered a moving speech. Today, we embark on a new chapter of our shared history. We do so with the knowledge that our predecessors, the brave humans, paved the way for us. Their legacy of courage and unity guides us as we venture into the unknown. The crowd cheered as the launch sequence began. The spacecraft, named Legacy, stood poised for its journey. Lyra and her fellow crew members took their places, their hearts filled with anticipation and pride. As the countdown reached 0, the spacecraft's engines roared to life, lifting off from the spaceport. The ship soared into the sky, leaving behind a trail of bright light. The crowd watched in awe as the spacecraft ascended, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of a civilization inspired by humanity's legacy. The journey ahead was filled with uncertainties, but the crew of the Legacy was determined to honor the spirit of their ancestors. They carried with them the values of exploration, collaboration, and resilience that had been instilled in them by the story of the humans. As the spacecraft entered the vast expanse of space, Lyra looked out at the stars, feeling a deep connection to the past. She knew that their mission was more than just a search for new worlds. It was a continuation of the legacy left behind by the humans. In the years that followed, the Legacy's mission brought new discoveries and forged new alliances. The crew's dedication and the values they upheld inspired many others to pursue similar paths of exploration and cooperation. The story of humanity continued to be a source of inspiration, guiding the Kian and their allies as they ventured into new frontiers. The statue of the human hero remained a symbol of the enduring legacy of bravery, sacrifice, and unity. As time went on, the human legacy became a cornerstone of the Kian's cultural identity. It reminded them of their past, inspired their present, and illuminated their path to the future. The values and lessons of humanity lived on, shaping the course of their civilization and ensuring that the spirit of the human heroes would never be forgotten. In this new dawn, the legacy of humanity continued to shine brightly, a beacon of hope and a reminder of the boundless potential that lies within every being willing to face the unknown with courage and determination. A unified frontier. Years into their mission, the crew of the Legacy found themselves charting new territories in an unexplored sector of the galaxy. Their exploration had yielded remarkable discoveries, from exotic new planets to strange and beautiful cosmic phenomena. However, the real breakthrough came when they stumbled upon a previously unknown alien civilization. The encounter occurred as the Legacy orbited a lush, vibrant planet teeming with life. The civilization, known as the Veridans, had developed a sophisticated culture and technology. Their cities, nestled in the canopies of enormous trees, were a marvel of organic engineering. The Veridans were a peaceful species, their society built on harmony with their environment and a deep respect for all forms of life. Lyra, now a leading figure in the Legacy's mission, was part of the diplomatic team tasked with initiating contact. The team approached the Veridans with a sense of excitement and trepidation, knowing that this could be a pivotal moment in their mission. As the Legacy shuttle descended toward the Veridan city, the crew marveled at the planet's beauty. The city's architecture blended seamlessly with the natural world, with bioluminescent plants illuminating the night in a mesmerizing display. The Veridans greeted the crew with a warm and curious demeanor. Their leader, Eldra, a wise and graceful being with emerald green skin and intricate patterns of bioluminescence, welcomed them. Through a combination of advanced translation technology and gestures, the two parties began to communicate. Laura and her team quickly established that the Veridans were deeply interested in learning about other species and expanding their knowledge. The initial meetings were filled with mutual curiosity and respect. The Veridans were fascinated by the Legacy's stories of humanity and their own mission's history. Eldra expressed the Veridans' eagerness to collaborate, and the Legacy crew proposed a cultural and scientific exchange. This would allow both civilizations to share their knowledge, technologies, and experiences. The Veridans agreed enthusiastically, recognizing the opportunity to build lasting bonds and gain insights that would benefit their own development. As the weeks passed, the exchange flourished. The Legacy's crew shared their knowledge of space travel, human history, and technological advancements, while the Veridans introduced them to their unique approaches to environmental stewardship and organic technology. The mutual learning enriched both sides, fostering a deeper understanding and appreciation of each other's ways of life. The collaboration extended beyond scientific exchange. The Veridans and the Legacy's crew worked together on projects aimed at improving the well-being of both civilizations. They developed new methods for sustainable resource management, advanced medical treatments, and cultural programs that celebrated their shared values of peace and exploration. During a significant cultural event, the Veridans honored the Legacy crew with a grand celebration. The event showcased traditional Veridan art, music, and dance, creating a vibrant tapestry of experiences. Lyra and her team were deeply moved by the display, which symbolized the unity and friendship that had been forged. The celebration culminated in a ceremonial planting of a tree, symbolizing the growth of their newfound alliance. The tree was planted in the heart of the Veridan city, with representatives from both civilizations participating in the event. The ceremony was a poignant reminder of the strength found in unity and cooperation. As the Legacy prepared to continue its journey, the crew and the Veridans exchanged heartfelt farewells. The Veridans expressed their gratitude for the opportunity to collaborate and learn from the humans and their allies. They looked forward to future exchanges and the possibility of joint missions that would further their shared goals. The Legacy departed from the Veridan planet with a renewed sense of purpose. The mission had achieved more than they had anticipated, forging strong bonds with a new civilization and expanding their understanding of the universe. In the years that followed, the alliance with the Veridans became a cornerstone of the Legacy's mission. The collaborative efforts continued to yield remarkable results, enriching both civilizations and contributing to a more interconnected and cooperative galaxy. The story of the Legacy and its alliance with the Veridans became a symbol of the power of unity and shared knowledge. It served as a reminder that, despite the vastness of the universe, there were common threads that connected all beings, regardless of their origin. As the Legacy ventured into new frontiers, the crew carried with them lessons learned from their experiences. The spirit of exploration, collaboration, and mutual respect continued to guide their journey, illuminating the path toward a future where the possibilities were boundless. In the ever-expanding tapestry of the galaxy, the Legacy story was a testament to the enduring legacy of humanity, a legacy that transcended time and space, inspiring new generations to reach for the stars and forge their own paths in the uncharted realms of the cosmos.